Hi, my name is Mary Blair, and this is my annotation assignment. I annotated the article Quitting Social Media, A Qualitative Exploration of Communication Outcomes by Natalie Pennington. So this study basically overlooked social media usage of college students in a university. They were all different ages and races, and the main purpose of this study was to see the benefits or the not benefits of quitting social media. And the main purpose of this is to see if not being on social media is better for you or your mental health, or if you could find other activities or ways to connect with your loved ones. So next I'm going to talk about the literature that was used in this study. There was extensive research done, in my opinion, prior to conducting this study. There was about 24 articles used throughout the study. Every section of the article included sources, and I believe these sources really added to like the bulk of the study because it really explained why she wanted to conduct this study and what the main purpose was, and why she picked college students, and why she picked the platforms, and why she picked the length of time she wanted the participants to not be using social media before the study was conducted. And it also helped explain in the method section, the findings section, the discussion, just kind of like why she did everything she did, and it also supported why she did everything she did, and it helped explain the differences of those studies to her studies, and it also left room at the end for kind of if someone wanted to further her study or do a study based upon her study. I believe that her research kind of was based upon these previous studies in a way, because all of these different articles she used, because she used a lot, really enhanced her study. And pulling all these pieces together to create her own, I think really helped the study out. And it really helped explain practically everything. They were all scholarly resources. I didn't look at every single source, but after reading about 20 down in alphabetical order, I kind of figured out that they were all scholarly. So the methods that were used in this article, in this study, were that she collected college students that were in a communication major or that were taking communication classes. They were of assorted races, assorted ages, and they were given a questionnaire prior to wanting to participate in the study, and then they were then led into an interview process, which she gained her information from for the findings of this article. Some main variables in this were they were in communication classes, they were college students, they were only discussing platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And an important note that I took that kind of stuck out to me was that I feel as if you are conducting a study, and that if you're wanting to include the platforms when you're explaining what your study is, that you should explain all of them. I did notice that in her findings, her table, that it did include Snapchat as well. I know that may seem minor, but I think that was an important thing that she should have mentioned when she was discussing the platforms previous to the findings table. That's something that I would have done differently. So in the findings of this study, it was very well explained. She had people on both ends of the spectrum discussing that they felt as if they were disconnected from friends and family socially, but it also showed them more who like their true interactions are and people, more meaningful conversations with people, and that if somebody wants to reach out to you and talk to you, they will do it if they want to. You're not the one always reaching out and trying to interact with them through these social media platforms. And then on the other side of the spectrum, they had people that didn't like it at all, felt completely disconnected, got depressed, felt angry or sad that they weren't connected to these people, their peers, through social media. But a important thing that I took away from the findings section of this article was that at the end, she did discuss both sides of people really enjoying it and having those more meaningful connections and people who didn't like it at all. She said, although those people that enjoyed it, they also said that they did feel disconnected as well, but overall, the benefits of not using the platforms made them feel better than using them, meaning that initially quitting cold turkey, not being on them at all, being completely disconnected technologically from the world. It was hard in the beginning, but then it was easy and they felt happy. And then they also had people on the other side that didn't like it at all. So now I'm going to discuss the strengths and weaknesses of this article and this study. I believe the major strength when I was going through this article was the amount of sources. And it wasn't, there was very clear language going on also in this study, and the sources really, really helped explain everything. So if she was talking about the different variables or why they picked the participants that they picked, there was evidence to immediately back that up and help further explain. Another strength was, I don't think the study in the article was too long, because, you know, after 50 pages of words you don't really understand, it can get boring and you can kind of get lost in what you're reading. But this was very clear and concise, and it was a good length, and the sources and the evidence she provided within this study was very clear, and it was very interesting and very easy to read. Because somebody looking up for this type of information, if they wanted to use her article, would probably be in the younger age range, probably 20s to 30s, who want to know about the stopping of the usage of these platforms that were included in this study. So I think this was a very clear and concise, easy read, and it was a good source of information for anybody looking for a citation or article like this. My only weakness with this article that I found was that she didn't include the Snapchat platform when discussing the platforms. If you're going to include that in your findings table, you should include that in your methods, because if you are researching these platforms, when you're starting to read the article, you think, oh, well, they're only looking over and analyzing the disconnection of Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Then you get to the findings and you figure out they're also including additional platforms. That is the only change and the only weakness I believe that is in this article, because overall it was an easy read. It was clear. It would be a good source for any academic use. Now I'm going to discuss a suggestion for a further study. Nowadays, I feel like people are kind of falling away from Facebook and Twitter. I would incorporate a platform like TikTok, because over the past pandemic, it was a big thing. People blew up on it. People spend hours still on TikTok. I think that would be a very good incorporation to a study like this. And I think this would help further research for individuals who are looking into conducting or analyzing a study like this. Thank you.